What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Arena of Valor video, and today it's gonna be a little bit different because today we are gonna be looking at the newest patch that is coming up, I think tomorrow, to the Taiwan server. And as you guys know, the European, the NA server, the LATAM server, they all get this patch just a little bit later than Taiwan. Taiwan is usually first, sometimes Thailand is first, but anyway, so yeah, this is the first time of me doing a patch rundown. If you guys enjoy it, please just show me by leaving a comment or leaving a like. I would really appreciate that. But yeah, anyway, so first of all, we're just gonna be looking at all the changes, but what we're mainly interested is, of course, the balance changes. I'm gonna tell them to you, and I'm gonna tell you what I think it does to the game, like which heroes are gonna be OP, which heroes are gonna be bad after the changes. And but I'll look through everything because there's a lot of out of game changes, like stuff like this, game performance improvement. They are adding a lot of like they're adding a new graphic option for lower end phones. They're just fixing the graphic issues, the FPS issues, all of that stuff. Of course, we will have to see how exactly this will pan out whenever it is live, but it seems, so far from what they wrote here, it seems really good. They're adding some lightweight, as I said, for lower end phones, stuff like that. And of course, these patch notes, by the way, I translated them through Google Translate from the Taiwanese website, so it is all in Chinese. So I hope this is mostly accurate. I think it is. The balance changes should be mostly accurate, but of course some other stuff is pretty badly written, so we won't be able to tell everything how it will pan out, but we will do our best. And here the next changes are some in-game control optimizations, as you can see here. So here this change is just going to be, they're adding another option where if you're out of range with your auto attack, that your hero, when you're walking away and still spamming the auto attack, that the hero doesn't stutter back into range to try to auto attack, stuff like that. I feel like this is a nice little change if you are bothered by that, but I feel like this is still the better option to play on with the stuttering back, because it's just better for kiting and stuff. Otherwise you might miss some damage and stuff, and if you are truly out of range, if you know you're out of range, you can just not press the auto attack button to not walk back. But anyway, I don't want to get too into depth with this change. I feel like it's a nice little change, nice that they added it, but not super necessary. Here they're just saying they're changing how the skill targeting system works a little bit. Again, this is just, I feel like they're just fixing some bugs. This doesn't this shouldn't be too much of our interest. Here they are fixing some bugs with skills responding better, like she dashes in to the enemy and she instantly just auto presses the S1 and it presses it to the enemy, even though like it just goes in the right direction, stuff like that. It just makes the skill system more responsive, makes the game smoother. Here again, some targeting stuff fixed in the jungle. When a monster is not aggroed, you would, even though you're closer to that monster, you would usually attack it, but on our current patch you still walk back to the buff even though it's further away because you already aggroed it, and here they're showing that they fixed that. As I said, it's just a lot of really nice fixes. Here you can see they're adding some AoE indicator to the dragons and the Dark Slayers skills, so you can see right before they use their skill, this little red thing pops up where it just facilitates the gameplay a little bit. Some nice quality of life changes. Then we have some hero operational feel improved. So here they are naming a lot of heroes. They are of course badly translated. For example, Blade Baby will have her skills improved. I can spoil you right now, Blade Baby is in fact Butterfly, but yeah, we can see Terianas, the new teriyaki chicken. Talana's skin is coming up as well, and she is getting her skills upgraded as well. I assume what this means is just that, for example, her S2 feels a little bit slow, right guys? Like whenever you play Talana's, when you shoot S2, it feels like it comes out a little bit too slow, and with this change it will probably just be a little bit more responsive, a little bit faster. And of course, don't forget guys, the new hero Quinn Lan. To all my Lans, salam alaikum my boys. But anyway, so a bad game behavior, problem optimization. Now they are changing the reporting system a little bit. Let's hope this time, they already changed it a lot of times if you guys remember, let's hope this time it actually does a little bit more than currently, because yeah, people are still really toxic in this game. Now, other system function optimization, you can receive a game invitation, blah blah blah. This is just some quality of life stuff. Now, for me this is not interesting, but maybe for a lot of you guys this will be interesting. There will be a new mode. Now I will completely skip this, but you can see they are changing a lot of stuff for that mode. This will be like a mayhem mode where damage output rate plus 20%, blah 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 blah. They're changing the classes a little bit, stuff like that. They're listing a lot of balance changes, like Azzen'Ka damage output rate -5%. Clown is probably Azzen'Ka damage output rate -10%. I have no idea who Kahlii is. Maybe it's Kahlii finally making it. Listen boys, Arena of Valor scrapped their DC contract. They got my boys Kahlii back at it. We will see the new Kahlii hero coming up. Anyway, listen, I don't care about new modes. If you guys care, I will of course link this in the comments and in the description below, so you can check it out at your leisure if you enjoy new fun modes. But we are all about ranked. Then world system, this is the new thing that they introduced last patch, with the history of the heroes and stuff, with the binding, with this map thing, with basically lore. Again, not something I care about too much. And now finally we are here for the hero balance adjustment, and now you can see that Butterfly is in fact a Blade baby in the Taiwanese version. Now she is getting changed a lot. It seems to have a lot of potential, her changes. We can look at it here. I feel like she might become pretty strong because they are truly changing a lot. First of all, the S1, whenever you pressed it, you get movement speed, but it was delayed by 0.4 seconds. So you would press it, and after around half a second, you would get the movement speed. Now this is going to be instant. A nice little quality of life change. Acceleration effect duration is also increased by 0.5 seconds. So this is gonna be a really nice buff, but the most important thing is the ultimate. Now, as you can see, it is getting nerfed a little bit, the damage, and the damage reduction. If you guys didn't know, whenever Butterfly uses her ult, she gets damage reduction, and it used to be 50%, and it would decay to 0% over 3 seconds. So it would start at 50 in the first split second, and then it would go down to 0. So this is getting changed to 30% for the full 3 seconds. So that just means the first initial burst, you will be a little bit less tanky, like right after you jump in, but then 2 seconds later, 1 second later, you will be probably like 2 seconds later, you will be more tanky for the last second. So just a little change. It doesn't do too much. Before that, you could have maybe reduced the burst even more by timing your ult properly when, for example, some skill is flying at you and you try to reduce the damage like that. So it kinda reduces the skill cap a little bit, which is a bummer. However, this more than makes up for a new mechanism. So basically, this is very badly translated, but with a spur effect, it basically means whenever you use your ult, your next 3 auto attacks will dash to the enemy. She will, like, I saw a video on Reddit, she like uses her little sword and like pierces them, and she dashes to the enemy, it does bonus physical damage, and it reduces the cooldown of one of her skills of her S1, Half Moon. You can see Half Month is getting the cooldown reduced. And so yeah, you basically get like you cannot get away from this hero anymore. She gets so much movement speed. She reduces the cooldown of her movement speed with the auto attacks after her ult, and 3 auto attacks chase after you. So this is gonna be definitely a nice little buff that she very needed. She is kind of a trash hero right now. And now Astrid is getting changed a lot as well. Now you can see here her passive, shield built-in, cooling time. Basically her passive cooldown is getting increased to 30 seconds. You know, her passive is that shield that she gets after she S2 auto attacks you. Cooldown reduction for hitting non-hero units is also decreased by 0.5 seconds. So this is overall getting nerfed, her shield passive. Now, one skill, a round sword, cooldown time is getting increased by 3 seconds, which is huge. However, there is a new mechanism. Now hit the enemy and the next general attack becomes a spur. Hit the enemy to break the defense. Increase your attack speed. The effect can be superimposed to lasers. Okay, so I saw it in a video. Basically, after your S1, I think you get becomes a spur. After your S1, you jump onto the enemy and you break defense, and it increases your attack speed. So break defense is it reduces their defense and it increases your attack speed for some time. And the effect can be stacked by 2 layers, so you can have 2 stacks to that attack speed probably. As I said, I'm not gonna go too into detail here with this Astrid change because I don't want to spread false stuff. This is very badly translated. We will see what this change will do when we get it. But basically, they're giving her a lot more mobility, and they're giving her they're giving her higher cooldowns. But whenever you auto attack and stuff, you reduce the cooldowns. So they're making her way more skill cap to play. And you have a second skill, C, is getting raised from the cooldown as well. But whenever you hit an attack, you reduce the cooldown by 2 seconds instead of 1. So ultimately, while you're in battle, your cooldowns will be lower than before, but while out of battle, it will be less basically, and I mean higher. And basically, yeah, she is getting a huge buff all in all. And yeah, we will see if it will be enough to make her viable. I feel like she can be a decent jungler with these buffs. She can also be a very decent top laner because as you see here, the shield is getting nerfed against jungle minions for hitting non-hero units. The cooldown reduction is lower, so maybe they are trying to put her into a side lane, into a slayer lane position. But yeah, we will see. Basically, yeah, these changes are too. Even if it was perfectly well written, I wouldn't be able to make a proper judgment on it because A, no one plays this hero right now. B, whenever something gets changed in a huge way, you cannot really just tell by just reading it. You have to see it in game and how it pans out. So I guess with that change, we will just see in the future when we get this patch. And now the legendary assassin Karina is getting a little bit changed. Cricknack, of course, here. You can see they are basically, so they're changing skill 1. They're reducing a little bit of the damage. It is not too much. 660 at max rank to 600 base damage. The scaling is not getting changed. And then the magic damage portion is from whenever you auto attack, the little percentage damage. They are changing this from 8 to 7%. So basically he is taking a little bit of a hit in damage. However, they are fixing or improving his ultimate, because if any of you ever played Cricknack, I'm sure you know, whenever you ult to fly, and then you instantly want to ult to land again, it doesn't work. It has like a 1 second delay, right? Whenever you start a flying animation, you have to wait 1 second and then you can jump on someone, and they're removing that completely. So you can instantly press it twice to instantly jump on someone. So whenever you're in a team fight, you have your ultimate ready, but you're not flying, you can just instantly spam it to burst someone down without waiting. So this is a very nice change. I'm not sure if they had to nerf his damage a little bit for it, because the change is very... It doesn't always do something. So basically, whenever you're already flying, this is a nerf. But whenever you're not flying, you will be able to dish out damage faster. So yeah, we will see how this will do. This nerf is not too big. It is a small amount, but yeah, I feel like they didn't have to nerf him. He didn't seem super broken if they just added this, you know. But we will see. Maybe I'm underestimating this change. Now for Max, I am not sure what exactly is going on here, because one word really confuses me. So first of all, they are buffing his passive. You know, the passive that he does is the true damage, that little poison that he has, and they are basically buffing it from 30 damage per second, +4 per liter means level, and plus 0.18 physical attack. They are buffing it to the same, just plus 0.2 physical attack. So 0.02 physical attack buff. Doesn't seem too big. It's, as they're saying, they're just buffing it a little bit because they are changing some things. They are removing the lag on his abilities. Again, if you play this hero, guys, whenever you press S1 and he does his spin, you cannot change the direction he's moving while he's spinning. So that was very annoying to play as, right? So they are removing that completely. However, they are removing removal mechanism forced displacement is cancelled. So, but this will cause the actual distance to be slightly reduced, and the magic grain shadow edge cannot be triggered. I am not entirely sure what this means, so we will just ignore this, but they are removing some kind of mechanism from it. But in turn, I think this is still a very big thing for him, because they're also improving the carton problem, guys. So I don't know what translates to carton, but they are removing, I think, because I saw it in a Reddit video, your S2 is also very laggy, it's really slow, and now you will be able to spam it, so it will be way more usable. So this hero is just getting way smoother to play. Now, for the next hero, they are changing Desert Ghost Azzen'Ka a little bit as well. They're adding to the passive that you can see how many stacks an enemy has, but of course enemies will see them, I think, as well on their hero, so it will just be much more clear. So this is a nice quality of life change. You won't be like, oh, how many times did he hit me at? When will I get stunned? You will immediately see how many stacks you have on your hero and when you will be stunned. And then now skill 2 Flying Sand. This probably means they are shortening the time when it pops up, when it knocks up. So this will just make it very easy, not very easy, but way easier to hit. So this is really good. 0.2 seconds is a lot too. Like, imagine when he presses it and when the hand comes up to knock you up. 0.2 seconds is a lot there. And then Ghost Claw, casting hard time. Not really sure what this means. Probably this means as well that his cast animation, and I think for S2 as well, the cast animations are getting lowered, because he is like a hero that just makes these stupid animations whenever he casts a skill, and it takes so long and it immobilizes him on the ground so long. So maybe I feel like this hero, as a mid laner, I tried this hero many times, and he is just truly garbage. He is not underrated. Like Vero, for me, no one plays him. I think he's completely underrated, really strong hero. This hero, not at all. Very trash hero. I feel like he does way too little damage. So we will see if just improving his cast times will be enough to fix that, to make him viable. I don't think so, but we shall see. Now, the Joker change, I'm sure you guys already heard. Yikes made a video about it. This is a very exciting one. They're changing some numbers, some more movement speed for him, some more attack range on both the passive and the normal attack. And now the passive is getting completely changed. So first of all, it used to have a 90% slow for 1.5 seconds, but I think decaying as well. I think this word is trying to describe that it is decaying. So it starts at 90% and at the end of the 1.5 seconds is at 0%. So it goes down like this, you know, it doesn't go, it doesn't stay at 90% slow for the full 1.5 seconds. But now they are making it 90%, but only 1 second, but full. This is way better. This is absolutely crazy. 90% slow is insane. So you're barely moving. So this is crazy. This is already a buff. However, they are nerfing the damage by a huge portion. Like, this is crazy. 200 to 120. So 80 nerf, just level 1. Instant 80 nerf. And then from 1.0 physical attack to 0.6. So it is gonna deal way less damage. However, they are changing it. New mechanism. So after leaving the battle or using 2 skills, the clown will fill the pistol with enhanced bullets. So of course, this is a passive. When you're out of combat, you get it, right? But now, if you use 2 skills, you also get it. And this is not it. This is not everything, because the S2 is getting changed here as well. You can see it right here. New mechanism, reset the general attack cooling. So that just means it resets the attack animation. So let's say you auto attack and then you press this skill and you can instantly auto attack again. You don't have to wait for the auto attack cooldown based on your attack speed. You can instantly auto attack again. This is really good. And upgrade the next to strengthen the bullets, and this means strengthening bullets. So this is the passive. I highly suspect. I'm pretty sure this is how it is, and we saw that in Yikes video as well. Whenever you use the second skill, you get the passive as well. So basically you can have 2 passives. Now, I am not sure if what this exactly means. Now, reading this again, I feel like I was saying some wrong stuff. Using 2 skills, I think it means using the second skill, not using 2 skills. So I think basically what they're changing, reducing damage, making the slow better but shorter, and whenever you use the second skill, you get your passive as well. So you will in turn be able to slow the enemy much more, burst way more, because you have 2 of these auto attacks available. And yeah, and they are also decreasing the animation time and stuff for the S1, so it will be way easier to hit. So overall, I feel like Joker will be a huge threat in the next patch. I feel like he is getting a huge buff actually. So I can definitely see Joker being very strong as a support, being very strong as a marksman, and maybe even being very strong in the mid lane. But I feel like marksman support. Also, this hero absolutely counters a lot of marksmen, especially this very next one that you can see on your screen, and he's getting a huge buff as well. So I feel like Joker will be used a lot. Now, for Yorn, this seems like an absolutely gigantic buff. Now, they are just changing his passive. Okay, seems like we're back. The recording stopped, excuse me for that. But anyway, so the Yorn change is basically just his passive, and you know he has that laser passive that shoots, right? And it's gonna be, instead of 4 little auto attacks, it's gonna be 7 little auto attacks. So now this is gonna be huge, because he's just gonna be shooting 7 small little auto attacks at you instead of only 4, so this is almost doubling it, so that's crazy. I assume it will take longer as well to finish, so you will have to be sitting in that passive of his for a little bit longer to get hit by the full damage. However, they are also of course changing the damage a little bit. You can see here 75 damage per level, physical damage plus 0.4 physical damage to each hero. They seem to be removing this per level thing, and they're just making it physical damage. So they're just making it based off his physical damage, plus, and this is huge, 1% target maximum health. So this means this is gonna be 7% target's maximum health per auto attack if you're stuck in the whole thing. So if Yorn is able to, if someone CCs like 3 enemies in the, like maybe with a Thane stun or Thane push into Thane stun, and he can just shoot through these 3 enemies for like maybe 2 passives, this is just gonna be like 14% of maximum health, just like that, without any of his items, without anything, right? Of course before armor reduction, but this is just gonna be 14% straight away gone, without the crit that he does, without the 5 items that he has late game that just do so much damage. So this is just gonna be crazy. If this is correct, again, this is a bad translation probably, but I think they wouldn't, you know, you can't mess up translating numbers, so this seems correct. So I feel like this will be really strong, and they're changing it to minions. It doesn't do the 1%, so you're not gonna be a Slayer killer where you just kill Dragon and Slayer in like 2 seconds. So that they're thankfully not doing that. However, on heroes, this seems like a huge change. And then the new mechanism as well, and they're adding the use of skills will upgrade the next general attack to do that, of course, and briefly increase its speed of movement for a point. So they're also giving Yorn, I think, movement speed whenever he uses a skill. So that seems like a nice change for his kiting. So I feel like with the items being also very strong for Yorn currently, the crit items, I feel like this might put him back into the spotlight that he had a couple patches ago. So maybe even a year ago right now. So I feel like this is pretty decent change for Yorn. I feel like we will see him, and if we see him, we will see Joker to counter him. So yeah. Then we have Ishar. I never played this hero, not a single game. A lot of you guys are telling me to make a little guide on her, make a little video. I will whenever we get this patch, because right now she's a huge joke. I didn't even read her skills, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I never see her in game, almost never. If I see her, she feeds. She does so little damage. It really doesn't seem like a good hero, but they are buffing a lot. They are buffing especially this. I'm not sure what her passive does, but buffing something from 6% maximum health damage to scale with AP with 0.5 per percent seems huge. So we will see how this will pan out. So I'm sure I will try her after the patch, and I will bring you guys the video that some of you are requesting. However, right now it is truly like a minion, so it really isn't worth playing her right now. I feel like, again, maybe I'm wrong, maybe she's like Vero, very underrated, but right now I don't I don't see a reason to put in the effort to learn her. Anyway, so for the next hero we have Wonder Woman. Now I feel like this is a very, very, very huge buff. So skill 1, Vulcan Sword, they are buffing it, and this is crazy. From blah 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 damage. Oh, actually, yeah, I already read through this, so I thought this is insane. However, I think it's not as insane as I thought. Here you can see she has a base damage plus 0.6 physical attack plus 5% target maximum health. And they're changing this to 0.85 physical attack, so this is huge buff, 0.25 more. If you go full AD on Wonder Woman, you already know how much damage this skill does, but this will be even more. And they are changing it to from 4, so from 5% maximum health, they're changing it from 4 to 9, increasing based on the ability level. So here I thought this is insane, but I think they are completely removing the base damage. So that just means you're probably gonna, this is probably still a buff for late game for sure. If you use that onto a Xenial, this will be insane damage on a Baldum, etc. So I feel like this won't change too much for a jungling Wonder Woman, where she is used mostly, if she's ever used. But a side lane Wonder Woman will probably not be very happy about removing this base damage. So I feel like if she is buffed enough with this change and with the next one that is coming up, I feel like she will just be a jungler. But that seems still huge, 9%. And then we have the ultimate is getting buffed. The stun time is getting increased to 1 second from 0.75. This is a pretty big buff, honestly, because the range is huge, everything, etc. So it is, it seems like a very decent buff for Wonder Woman. I think she will be a decent jungler. Now, the next change that we see here is a Murad, and I think it's a buff. It's probably a buff. The legendary Mora is getting buffed. Skill 1, casting is shortened by 0.2 seconds. So that means the casting time is shortened by 0.2 seconds. So each dash, each S1 will be faster, 0.2 seconds. So they're just making it more smooth. So if you have quick fingers, you will be even more rewarded with this ability now. You will be way faster at doing your combo. But in turn, they are removing, they are lowering the slow amount of the S2 from 90% to 50%. Now this is a huge nerf, guys, 90% to 50%. However, I think this is still all in all a very nice buff for him, because this is huge. This is gonna make your S1 auto attack S1 like auto attack S1 auto attack S1, right? The little cancel S1 auto attack animation combo. It's gonna make it 0.4 seconds faster, which is insane, right? If you think about it in an actual game, it's gonna be insane. I feel like this is, I feel like it doesn't even take 0.4 seconds right now, so I don't know how fast this is gonna be, but this is a huge nerf for sure. However, what does Murad S2 do really in a game? It is just there to, when you're escaping and you use it S2 to run away, an enemy, if it's slowed by 50%, it's not going to chase you anymore anyway, because 50% is still enough to make them not be able to chase you. And in a team fight, whenever you jump in S2 and then ult, I think 50% will be enough of a slow to keep enemies inside your ult, because the range is pretty big. So I don't think this nerf, on paper it seems huge. 90% slow to 50%, that is a huge nerf, but in the actual game it doesn't seem that it will do a lot. So definitely a nice buff, and they're giving you some more indications of when you have ult and stuff. Just some quality of life changes, not a buff, not a nerf. So yeah. Now again, next hero, Batman. Skill 1, the cast can now be moved normally. So this is again just like Max, I think. If you use S1, the little spin that Batman does, and you're walking towards the enemy, you cannot change your walking direction while he's spinning, and they're changing that, so it feels more smooth. This is a really good change. Now for Chi, they are changing the ult. The problem of possibly sliding along the wall, I think they're just removing some bug where people wouldn't get stunned inside the wall. I didn't play this hero on the new patch, so I cannot really comment on that, but it seems like just a bug fix, so that is good. They are changing the Voodoo Warlock Mugaju, so Maganga, basic feel improvements. So yeah, they're just making it more smooth. Again, some quality of life changes. Now, I think this is already going to be the last change. Arthur is getting kind of significant change. So first attack, they are nerfing the slow from 90% to 50%. Again, this is huge. This slow won't be nearly as oppressive anymore. However, keep in mind, every Arthur plays with Frostcape. You will still play him with Frostcape probably. So the enemies will still be slowed enough. So again, this is a huge change, but it won't do too much in game. Now, new mechanism, it has a 0.01 stun effect on the S1, so this is very nice. So you can stop Gilder ult with it and stuff like that, right? So this is really cool, but I'm not sure what this means after a sudden damage. I'm not exactly sure what this means. So I guess it has a condition, you have to take damage before you can stun enemies or stuff like that. But yeah, they're basically adding a lot of stun, so they're basically nullifying this change, because the stun is always better than slow. Now, if you hit the hero, it generates a 15% maximum health shield for 1 second. So you basically, whenever you S1 onto enemy heroes, you gain a very decent shield, 15% maximum health. And you probably go full tank on this hero still with Frostcape, maybe a rank breaker. And this is a very decent change. Like, you know how low the cooldown of the S1 is. This hero will be so tanky. So I definitely think this is very decent to make him viable, and they're adding a cherry on top of it. The S2, the sword that circles around him, basically is gonna do more damage the more health you have. So 1% of maximum health per hit. I think this means that. So there's two options. Either it deals 1% of maximum health of the enemy per hit, or it scales more. And I think the respond means that the damage scales. The more health Arthur has, 1% of his maximum health will be converted into damage per hit of the sword. So this is very nice changes for Arthur. I definitely think he's gonna be at least viable in the side lane. I think his jungle clear is not fast enough, mid lane doesn't make sense. So it is gonna be side lane Darkslayer Arthur if he is gonna be viable, and I feel like this has very big potential. Especially the shield in lane, you know, for trades, really good. Now, a lot of bug fixes, and that is already gonna be it for this patch rundown. As you saw, it is a pretty big patch. Very excited about this change, about this change. Yeah, excited about this change, of course. This change will be really fun too. I will play her mid lane, not because it makes sense, just because it's fun. And the new skin is coming out, so definitely hoping that will be fun. But yeah, I hope this didn't take too long. I feel like it did. You guys know how I like to ramble on. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like. And yeah, other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, boys. Bye-bye.